Discovery in the void. The vastness of the asteroid belt stretched before Major Ilara Voss like a scattered junkyard of cosmic debris. Her experimental craft, the XF-117 Phantom, glided silently between the slow-tumbling rocks. This far from Earth, the sun was just another bright star, casting harsh shadows across the spacecraft's sleek black hull. All systems nominal, Phantom. You're clear to initiate test sequence Delta, came the voice of mission control through her comms. Copy that. Initiating test sequence Delta. Ilara replied, her fingers dancing across the holographic controls. The Phantom was humanity's most advanced spacecraft, designed to test revolutionary propulsion technology. If successful, it would reduce travel time between Earth and Mars from months to days. Ilara had been chosen to pilot it not just for her exceptional skills, but for her ability to remain calm in crisis situations, a trait that would soon be tested beyond anything her trainers could have imagined. Engaging gravitational wave drive in 3, 2, 1. The drive hummed to life, building to a resonant frequency that made Ilara's teeth vibrate. Power readings climbed steadily on her display. Everything was proceeding according to the test parameters, until it wasn't. The first warning came as a flicker in the navigation display. Then the power readings spiked dramatically. Mission control, I'm seeing abnormal fluctuations in the drive matrix, Ilara reported, her voice steady despite the growing concern. Reading you, Phantom. Stand by. The ship shuddered. Red warnings bloomed across her console like digital blood spatter. Drive containment failing. Recommend immediate shutdown, Ilara said, already initiating emergency protocols. Confirmed, Phantom. Abort test. Return tow. The transmission cut off as the gravitational drive emitted a pulse that knocked out the communications array. The ship lurched violently, throwing Ilara against her restraints. Damn it, she muttered, fighting to regain control as the Phantom tumbled through space. The asteroid belt was no place for an out-of-control spacecraft. Collision with even a small rock could be catastrophic. Ilara managed to stabilize the tumble, but the main engines remained offline. The Phantom was adrift, with only maneuvering thrusters responding. A massive asteroid loomed ahead, nearly a kilometer across, rotating slowly. With limited options, Ilara made a quick calculation. She could use the remaining power in the thrusters to attempt a controlled landing on its surface. It wasn't ideal, but it beat drifting helplessly until her oxygen ran out. Here goes nothing, she whispered, firing the thrusters in a precise sequence. The landing, if one could call it that, was rough. The Phantom skidded across the asteroid's rocky surface, coming to rest in a shallow crater. Ilara's head snapped forward then back against her seat, nearly knocking her unconscious. When her vision cleared, she took stock of the situation. Life support was operational but damaged. Communications were completely dead. She had perhaps 48 hours of breathable air remaining, unless a rescue team found her, unlikely given her position, and the communications blackout. She would need to find another solution. Ilara donned her EVA suit and exited the Phantom to survey the damage. The asteroid's negligible gravity made movement easy but required careful anchoring to avoid drifting away. Using magnetic boots, she walked around her crippled spacecraft, noting the extensive damage to the drive section. Not flying out of here, she concluded grimly. As she completed her inspection, she noticed something odd about the crater wall behind the Phantom. The rock face had an unusual smoothness to it, with faint geometric patterns barely visible beneath a layer of space dust. Ilara approached, brushing away the dust with her gloved hand. The pattern revealed itself. Perfect hexagons, etched into what appeared to be a metallic surface, not rock at all. What the hell? Her suit's sensors detected a faint energy signature emanating from the wall. As she examined it more closely, her hand pressed against a hexagon that seemed slightly different from the others. The section recessed into the wall with a soft click. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the ground beneath her feet trembled. The wall before her split open, revealing a dark passage that hadn't existed moments before. Ilara hesitated only briefly. With limited options and dwindling oxygen, exploration was her best chance at survival. She activated her helmet lights and stepped inside. The passage was smooth and cylindrical, definitely artificial. After about 20 meters, it opened into a vast chamber that her lights couldn't fully illuminate. The air pressure in the chamber registered as stable on her suit's sensors, with oxygen content similar to Earth's. After running a full spectrum analysis and finding no contaminants, she made the decision to remove her helmet. The stale but breathable air filled her lungs as her eyes adjusted to the dimness. Then, as if responding to her presence, soft blue lights began to activate along the walls, gradually illuminating the chamber. At its center sat what could only be described as a spacecraft, but unlike any human vessel, it was sleek and elongated, approximately 80 meters in length, with a surface that seemed to absorb and reflect light simultaneously. The craft hovered motionless above the floor without any visible means of support. "Impossible," Ilara whispered, the word echoing in the cavernous space. As she approached the alien vessel, a section of its hull rippled and then disappeared, revealing an opening. Blue light spilled out, casting her shadow long behind her. A voice spoke in her mind. Genetic compatibility detected. Awakening protocols initiated. Ilara froze. "Who's there?" "I am Nexus, custodian of this precursor vessel. You bear the markers in your genetic code. You are compatible." "Compatible for what?" she asked, instinctively reaching for the sidearm at her hip. "To become guardian. To receive the legacy. To protect against the harvesters that destroyed my creators." Images flooded Ilara's mind. A majestic civilization spanning thousands of worlds, technological marvels beyond human comprehension. Then war, devastation, extinction. The precursors, facing annihilation, had seeded caches of their technology throughout the galaxy, hidden away until compatible species might find them. "The harvesters still exist," Nexus continued. "They hunt for remaining precursor technology. They will find this place eventually." "And what exactly is this place?" Ilara asked, gesturing around the chamber. "A warship, the last of its kind, containing the collective knowledge and power of my creators, left here for a worthy inheritor." Before Ilara could process this information, an alert sounded in her mind, somehow transmitted by Nexus. "Approaching vessels detected. Human origin." "That would be my rescue," Ilara said with relief. "They will attempt to claim this technology by force. It is the way of young species. You don't know that. I have analyzed your species' history through your mind. The pattern is clear. Those who come will see power to be seized, not responsibility to be shouldered." A holographic display appeared before her, showing 3 military vessels approaching the asteroid. Not the science vessel that had deployed the Phantom, but heavily armed military craft that shouldn't have been in the area at all. "How did they find me so quickly?" Ilara wondered aloud. "The activation of this chamber was detected. Your military has been monitoring for such energy signatures for decades." The implication sent a chill down Ilara's spine. If Nexus was right, these weren't rescuers but a containment team. And if they took control of this technology, the holograms showed the vessels preparing to dock on the asteroid's surface. A decision must be made, compatible one. The awakening protocol has begun. It cannot be reversed, but you must choose to accept or reject the guardian bond. What happens if I accept? You become more than human. The vessel becomes an extension of your will. You gain access to knowledge and power beyond your current understanding. You become guardian of your species against the coming storm. And if I reject, I will shut down permanently rather than allow this power to be misused. The harvesters will eventually arrive, and your world will fall as countless others have before." Outside, soldiers in advanced spacesuits were deploying from the military vessels, establishing a perimeter around Ilara's crashed Phantom. Time was running out. Ilara had to make a choice that would alter not just her life, but potentially the course of human history. "Show me," she said finally. "Show me everything I need to know." Blue light enveloped her as the neural link between her mind and the precursor vessel deepened. Knowledge flowed into her consciousness: star maps, weapon systems, faster than light travel, energy manipulation, and the terrible destructive capabilities of the harvesters. Through the ship's sensors, she detected the soldiers finding the entrance to the chamber. They would reach her in minutes. "I accept," Ilara said, her decision made. "I accept the role of guardian." The chamber filled with brilliant light as the ancient warship fully activated, responding to its new guardian. The soldiers at the entrance felt the surge of power and rushed forward, weapons raised. They arrived at the main chamber just in time to witness Major Ilara Voss hovering above the floor, surrounded by a nimbus of energy, her eyes reflecting the stars themselves. The transformation had begun. Forging of a guardian. Colonel Marcus Reeves had seen many things in his 30 years of military service, but the sight before him left him speechless. The woman floating above the deck of the alien vessel was technically Major Ilara Voss. Her facial features remained the same, but she was fundamentally changed. Energy coursed across her skin like liquid lightning, and when she turned to face the assembled soldiers, her eyes glowed with an inner light that was distinctly non-human. "Major Voss," he said, keeping his voice steady despite his unease, "you're to stand down immediately and accompany us back to Earth for debriefing." Ilara regarded him with an expression of mild curiosity. "I'm afraid that won't be possible, Colonel." The soldiers tightened their grips on their weapons. "This isn't a request, Major," Reeves said. "By authority of Earth Defense Command, I'm ordering you to step away from the alien technology." "You don't understand what's happening here," Ilara replied. "None of you do. There's a threat coming, one that humanity isn't prepared to face. All the more reason to secure this technology properly," Reeves countered. "Our scientists can. Your scientists would spend decades trying to understand what I now know inherently," she interrupted. "We don't have decades." One of the soldiers raised his weapon. Reeves held up a hand, stopping him. "Stand down." "She's compromised, sir," the soldier protested. "I said stand down." Ilara sighed. "I know this is difficult to accept, but I'm still me. I've just been expanded, enhanced, connected to knowledge and technology beyond anything humanity has achieved." "Prove it," Reeves challenged. "Tell me something only Ilara Voss would know." A small smile touched her lips. 3 years ago at the Academy graduation, you got drunk on champagne and told me that the real reason you never made general was because you punched Admiral Harrison at his daughter's wedding. You made me promise never to tell a soul." Reeves's face reddened slightly. "That doesn't prove you're not being controlled. Colonel, I understand your caution, but right now we have a more immediate concern." She gestured, and a holographic display appeared in the air between them, showing a sector of space several thousand kilometers away. A distortion was forming, like a ripple in the fabric of reality. "What am I looking at?" Reeves asked. "A phase shift signature. A ship is coming, not human." Ilara's expression darkened. "It's a harvester scout. They've detected the activation of this vessel. Harvesters. The beings that wiped out the precursors, the civilization that built this ship. They're scavengers who consume advanced technology and the resources of any world that possesses it." A hologram expanded, showing the distortion resolving into a jagged, asymmetrical vessel that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. "How long until it arrives?" Reeves asked, his tactical mind already analyzing the threat. 20 minutes, perhaps less," Ilara replied. "Your ships don't have the capability to harm it. Even your most powerful weapons would be like throwing rocks at a tank." Reeves studied her face, weighing options. "And you can stop it. This vessel can." A moment of tense silence passed before Reeves made his decision. "Tell me what you need us to do. Get your people back to your ships. Move to a safe distance. I'll handle the harvester scout." Reeves nodded grimly. Men, fall back to the transports. As the soldiers retreated, he lingered. Voss, if you really are still in there, good luck. Once the soldiers had departed, Ilara closed her eyes, connecting more deeply with the precursor ship. She felt its systems as extensions of her own body. Weapons, shields, propulsion, all responding to her thoughts. The neural integration progresses well, Nexus observed within her mind. But it is not yet complete. A full bond will require more time. Time we don't have, Ilara responded. Will the ship's current capabilities be enough to handle the scout? Yes, but combat will accelerate the integration process. The experience may be intense. The ancient warship rose from its resting place, hovering momentarily before accelerating upward through a previously hidden exit shaft. It emerged from the asteroid like a predator from its den, its sleek form now glowing with power that had lain dormant for millennia. Ilara felt the cold vacuum of space around the vessel, but experienced no discomfort. The ship protected her, sustained her. Through its sensors, she perceived the universe in ways human instruments never could. Gravitational waves, quantum fluctuations, the very fabric of space-time itself. The Harvester Scout appeared exactly where predicted, its twisted form a stark contrast to the elegant lines of the precursor vessel. It paused, as if surprised to encounter an active precursor ship. "Can they detect me specifically?" Ilara asked. "They will sense a guardian presence, but not your human origin." "Not yet." The Harvester Scout fired without warning, a beam of coruscating energy that would have vaporized any human vessel instantly. Ilara reacted on instinct, the ship responding to her thoughts by generating a defensive field that absorbed the attack. Knowledge of combat techniques flowed into her mind from the ship's database. She counterattacked, unleashing a spiraling pattern of energy projectiles that overwhelmed the Scout's defenses and penetrated its hull. The Scout attempted to retreat, opening a phase shift portal. Ilara pursued, using the precursor ship's superior maneuverability to position herself between the Scout and its escape route. With a thought, she activated the main weapon system. A concentrated beam of energy, not just destroying matter but unraveling the very atomic bonds holding it together, struck the Harvester vessel. It disintegrated spectacularly, leaving nothing but scattered particles. The victory was short-lived. As the Scout's remains dispersed, Ilara detected a burst of faster-than-light communication emanating from it, a final death cry to alert others of its kind. "They know now," Nexus warned. "More will come." Back on Earth, the highest levels of government and military had been thrown into chaos. The sudden appearance of two alien vessels, one piloted by a transformed human pilot, had shattered countless assumptions about humanity's place in the universe. In a secure conference room beneath the Pentagon, General Diana Chen faced a panel of ashen-faced officials. "The Harvester ship was destroyed?" asked the Secretary of Defense. "Completely," Chen confirmed. "According to Colonel Reeves's report, Major Voss eliminated it using technology we can barely comprehend. And we're sure it's still Voss in control, not some alien presence using her body." Chen hesitated. "The psych profile team believes it's still her, fundamentally. But she's been enhanced, integrated with the alien ship's systems. Can we contain her?" asked the President, who was attending via secure holographic link. "I don't believe we should try," Chen replied carefully. "She just saved us from a threat we had no defense against. And according to her, more are coming. So you're suggesting we just trust this hybrid?" The Secretary of State asked incredulously. "I'm suggesting we work with her," Chen corrected. "Major Voss's record is exemplary. She's one of our best. Loyal, stable, principled. If anyone could handle this transformation, it's her." The President was silent for a long moment. "Bring her in. I want to speak with her directly." "Sir, she's requesting permission to establish a base on Mars. She says the precursor ship can transform the planet's environment to support a defensive outpost." Stunned silence filled the room. "She can terraform Mars?" the NASA administrator asked finally. Apparently, that's one of the lesser capabilities of the technology she now controls, Chen replied. In orbit above Mars, Ilara Voss observed the red planet with new eyes. Through the precursor ship's sensors, she could see not just its current barren state, but its potential, what it had been in the ancient past, and what it could become again. This world was once a precursor outpost, Nexus informed her. Deep beneath its surface lie dormant systems that can be reactivated. Will the harvesters come here first? Ilara asked. They will follow the quantum resonance trail of their scout. This system will be their primary target. Then we make our stand here, she decided, away from Earth. She opened a communication channel to the hastily established Earth Defense Command. This is Guardian Voss. I'm proceeding with Operation Bulwark. Mars will become our first line of defense. As the precursor ship descended toward the Martian surface, Ilara felt a strange combination of loss and purpose. Her old life was gone, her humanity forever altered. Yet in its place was something greater, a destiny that might ensure the survival of her species. The ancient warship touched down near Olympus Mons. With a thought from Ilara, it extended structures into the ground. Connecting with long-buried precursor technology, energy began to flow, awakening systems that had lain dormant for hundreds of thousands of years. The transformation of Mars had begun, and with it, humanity's first steps toward becoming a power among the stars. Back on Earth, teams of scientists, engineers, and military personnel worked feverishly to understand the data Ilara had shared. New technologies were being developed based on simplified versions of precursor designs, defenses against the coming harvester fleet. In a private moment aboard her ship, Ilara watched the Earth through a viewing portal, a beautiful blue marble hanging in the blackness of space, a world worth protecting, a civilization with the potential to become something extraordinary. You mourn your former existence, Nexus observed. I'm adjusting, Ilara replied. It's a lot to process, being both human and something more. The precursors believed that this was the natural evolution of all sentient species, to merge with their technology, transcending biological limitations while maintaining the essence of their identity. Is that what I am now? The next stage of human evolution. You are the bridge. The first, but not the last. Others with compatible genetics will be found. A new generation of guardians will arise. Ilara turned from the viewing portal as her sensors detected ships launching from Earth, the first wave of human vessels retrofitted with technology derived from her knowledge. Then we'd better make sure there's a world left for them to protect, she said, a determined smile forming on her lips. Let's get to work. A new chapter in human history had begun, one where humanity would no longer be confined to its cradle, but would stand among the stars, guardians not just of Earth, but of life throughout the galaxy. The harvesters were coming, and humanity would be ready.